Perfect. So essentially, the reason why we are going to be focusing on today is that the importance of LinkedIn for business development. Most people they think of social media and they're not very satisfied in terms of the results that they get, right? But me personally, I've gotten tremendous results from social media, specifically LinkedIn, right? Especially for B2B businesses, LinkedIn is essentially a gold mine of potential leads. So we are going to be covering a lot of that in details of how we are going to be going about it. So you need to actively participate in order to make the best of this masterclass. So definitely stay around to the end and please participate in the questions which I ask during the session as well. So I know that there are distractions all around us, but this strategy can change your life. It can change your business completely. So please make a commitment to stay focused. I hope you can do that for yourself because this is going to be extremely, very new if you've never heard about, using LinkedIn for B2B lead generation for your business. So how many of you feel this way, right? That many of you would have worked in corporate companies to feel like you're running on a hamster wheel, and when you're working for a startup, it feels like you're pushing a boulder up the mountain. You're stuck in the middle. You cannot go back to the corporate life, because it's just too monotonous, and you are finding this uphill battle, right? How many of you are in this position or have had experienced this in their life? So, AI is essentially like Thanos, right? It is eliminating half the businesses and jobs in the world. And it's only going to go stronger. It's only going to go deeper with time. So, let me kind of, give you an example of what the current business climate is like. 8.5 lakh registered businesses have shut down since COVID just in India alone. That is 850,000 businesses have shut down in India just since COVID. Just imagine the scope of that number, of how big that number is. Market is getting hyper competitive. Customers are getting impossibly demanding because you have these new startups which are coming in, and people are getting deliveries within 30 minutes. So obviously, the expectations are sky high from these customers. Margins are shrinking. It's becoming very competitive to kind of survive in this kind of a competitive market, and inflation is sky high. Especially the last 2 years, inflation has been in double digits across the world, not just in India. So, and hiring, of course, has become extremely expensive because of the increased inflation as well, right? So that is kind of, how I kind of decided to jump into this journey. Essentially, I had two choices. Either I could keep working for large companies exclusively and help them with growth, right? My entire career, I've worked with large companies like Paytm, Johnson and Johnson, which is a Fortune 50 company. I worked with Bisleri, which is like $100 million plus company. And I could have either continued that, or instead I could have offered my strategy, my expertise to startups and small businesses and help them predictably grow at scale. So I decided to go for the second option because the first option, they have a lot of options. They have a lot of people, some like me, some better than me, who can help them, but there's no such resources available for startups and small businesses in the early stages who can help them. So that is what my motivation is to kind of start this right now. Anybody knows McKinsey, BCG, Bain, Capgemini? I'm assuming most of you would know this, right? Can you let me know? Do you know any about these companies?
Yeah. Yes, yes.
Got it. Perfect. Perfect. So that is kind of my vision with my business, right? I want to make my business as, I want to provide business growth support to VC and non-VC funded businesses at value pricing, because you have a lot of expensive players in the market, like the BCGs, the big Bains, McKinsey's, these companies. And you have the big four accounting firms like KPMG, PwC, Deloitte, EY, which are all on the expensive side, right? But I want to do that at a value pricing and essentially become like a McKinsey for small business and startups. That is my vision of starting this business. And who is this for? This is going to be for any B2B business, B2B tech, SaaS startups, high value B2C businesses, coaches, consultant service businesses, certified professionals like lawyers, accountants, etc. For all this is going to work, right? And how do you build your LinkedIn brand and generate leads from LinkedIn for your business? So my goal for this masterclass is to help you build your LinkedIn brand and generate leads from LinkedIn for your business. You're probably wondering why I'm qualified to teach on this topic. So I was the head of marketing of two international crypto exchanges. One of them was doing over $10 million of revenue, which is over 100 CR of revenue in Indian terms. I was a VP at R Ventures, helping startups raise funds. I was the regional sales head for Paytm for the healthcare division. I was regional sales in Johnson and Johnson, and I was the head of startups for World Trade Center Pune, where we were working with a company called MyLabs. which is a unicorn company, and we were helping them with international expansion. We helped them expand to 9 international countries with the help of our WPC network across the world. So this is the recent book which I published, right? It's available on Amazon. You can simply scan this QR code and get it. It's just for 49 rupees or 99 cents for international market. If you want, you can simply scan this QR code and get it from Amazon if you want. It's going to be extremely handy because this kind of covers the entire GTM roadmap which I've developed and conceptualized. This is my own proprietary one-page GTM strategy which I've created to kind of help businesses figure out the GTM and what that looks like. Problem is people are, most businesses, they're just stuck in the rut and they're not able to think about their business strategically, right? This book will help you in creating that GTM strategy to ensure that, you have that proper structure in place for your GTM mapped out. And, once you kind of purchase this, you can drop me a message. We have some more free resources for you, like a completely free masterclass on GTM, which I can give you access to, plus a whole lot of other cheat sheets and other resources as well once you purchase this and let me know. So that is there as well. As I said, free cheat sheets you will get, and you'll get a free masterclass with the book as well. So about me, as I mentioned, I used when I was working for Bisleri, I used to generate 20% MRR growth in Bisleri, which was a highly saturated market, because as you know, it was just selling water, right? And it was a very saturated market, and we were able to grow that quickly. I was able to generate 60% ARR growth in Johnson and Johnson in the span of 2 years, not 2 months. Again, a very highly saturated market, and our competitors, they would sell the product at half the price that we would, and I was still able to generate this growth in the market. I started one of the first online diagnostic business in India in 2017, where we would be helping people, book diagnostic tests online. Prior to this, most of the diagnostic used to happen through their local neighborhood diagnostic center with the referrals of doctors, but I was the one who started this business for the first time in 2017. And after I started it, a lot of other brands kind of picked it up. So Practo, Librate, Pharmacy, Netmite, 1mg, they all started picking up after I started it. Unfortunately, I had to shut it down in 2020 due to COVID because the business was not scaling. And obviously, the larger players kind of got in and took away a lot of the market. And I lost my advantage, the first mover advantage which was there. So I had to shut it down during COVID. Since then, I worked with as a senior marketing leader for 2 crypto exchanges with $10 million plus annual revenue. I was the head of startup at WPC Pune, helping businesses with international GTM and generate 20 million plus lifetime revenue directly in the companies I was working for. The client revenue which I've worked for is significantly higher than that. This is the chairman of Bisleri, Mr. Ramesh Chauhan. With my first year itself, we got a certificate of appreciation with him. Then this is again my team with Johnson and Johnson. Again, I got a certificate of appreciation over there. Our entire team won the best area award over there. And this is just when I was backpacking solo across Europe, right? So this is the picture on the right is Greece, top left is Mona Lisa, and the bottom left is the Palace of Versailles, which is one of the most largest and exuberant palaces across the world. I was solo backpacking across France doing my studies over there. These are some of the testimonials which I've gotten across the years, working with some of the companies, some of the early stage startups which I was working for, and some where I've invested in as well as an advisor with them. So let's move into the crux of it, right? Is this you? You have to multitask, you have to manage accounts, you're managing time, you're managing work, you're managing operations, you're trying to do everything yourself, right? I'm sure a lot of you would be feeling the brunch of this, right? Of having to do everything by yourself. But so that is what creates a lot of struggles for you. You have limited new leads every month, limited new clients every month, one-man army. You're doing everything by yourself. You're struggling to hire and retain good employees. You're following up with clients all by yourself. You're manually tracking all the tasks, whether they're happening or not. You're constantly in a firefighting mode, with all the challenges which your business is facing. It's like an endless cycle of constant pressure which you're not able to get out of. And it's a very poor way to live, honestly. You can't be in that mode forever. In the early 1 or 2 years, that's fine, but you can't stay in that mode for a very long time, right? And that is why it's extremely important to get out of that. So, and how much is this costing you, right? How much is the time and effort which you're putting? How much is that worth for your business? Let me kind of share with you what it takes to become a successful entrepreneur. Do you need to be ultra smart? Do you need to work 12 to 14 hours a day? Or do you need to do both? What do you think? Can you let me know in the chat? Which of these do you think is most important to be successful? You need to be ultra smart, work 12 to 14 days a day, or do you need to do both?
Both.
Both. Okay. None of those. Anyone else, guys? Both. Okay. Anyone else? Consistent rather and efficient. Okay. Be frugal and work efficient outputs. Okay, got it. So smart execution. Okay. Um, have a mission also. That's very important as well. Smart execution is important as well. But the underlying most important thing is how much value are you creating for your audience. In the end, I've known people who are extremely smart, who studied with me with the top 10 Bs. So I was a Narsing Munji graduate, and some of the smartest people in India used to study over there for the MBA, right? I've seen some of them, they are struggling in their business. So it's not about the smartest being the smartest. It's also not about working the hardest, right? People working 12, 14 hours a day, that's that doesn't generate the results. The one who creates the most value wins. And that is what everyone needs to do, right? How can you offer most value to your prospects and then turn them into customers? Essentially, the success is more about value creation and how much of that value can you capture for your business, right? The higher value you create, higher value you can capture for yourself and for your business, and that's how you win. That's how the entire process goes. So this is an example of Sushil Kumar, right? He was the winner of Kaun Banega Crorepati. He won 5 CR, and within 2 years he went bankrupt. So even if you get like a lucky draw, like a lottery, right? The fact that he won 5 CR means he had some talent. You would not win 5 CR with no talent whatsoever. But because he could not manage it properly and he had not had the right mindset, he ended up going bankrupt within 2 years, right? So that is why getting that right is extremely important. What do we learn from this example? That you need to have a millionaire mindset to become a real life millionaire. Because if you lack that and if you just get the money, you'll end up squandering it. And everything will be for waste. So that's why having the right mindset is extremely important. So in the end, you need to ask yourself this question, right? Do you want to win big or lose small? Which is it? Do you want to win big or lose small? Win big, win big. A lot of us are caught in this middle class kind of mindset, right? Where we don't take big bets. We are afraid of taking bets, kind of, the way that we've been brought up from our parents, right? That we think very conservative. We don't think of taking risks. And, each and every decision, we procrastinate a lot. And that is why it kind of leads to analysis paralysis, where we are unable to kind of, take the right decisions for a business because we are just acting too conservative. And it's extremely important that we have the right mindset, because if you're looking at the lose small mindset, it is going to always hinder you and stop you from making any decision any want that you like. And if you think of winning big, uh, you know sky is the limit for you. And I've kind of noticed this with a lot of founders as well. So over the last 2 3 years, as I've been helping startups raise funds, right, I've worked with companies who have done like $2 million revenue, $5 million revenue, $10 million revenue, even beyond. In fact, I have met Vijay Shekhar Sharma in person as well when I was working with Paytm. And one common trait across all of these guys is they're all looking for winning big, and they are not hesitant to take big bets. They take decisions in terms of they have a very different decision making philosophy where they are looking to focus on maximizing the output, maximizing the returns that they get, rather than thinking of what if we end up losing money. They don't let them hold them back. And that mindset, when you look at those guys, right, you can instantly feel the difference, that why they are at the place that they are. So we as keyboard warriors, we sometimes like to criticize Paytm value. It went down from 20 billion to $5 billion and everything. But if you look at the person, when you meet him and you see the energy, right, that's when you realize the difference of how aggressive they are and how what the kind of mindset is. So having inculcating that mindset is absolutely vital, right? So I have a couple of questions for you, right? Is the stock market right now growing faster than your business? And I'm sure the answer is yes for a lot of people for this one, because especially over the last few years, stock market has been performing like 15-20% year on year growth. And most businesses have been struggling to grow at that rate. uh, do you want to predict the future or create the future? Do you want to wait for disruption to come to you, or you want to be the disruption? You want to create that disruption in your market. So which of these is it? Are you facing any of these challenges? Is the stock market growing faster? than your business? Do you want to create the future? Do you want to create the disruption? Create the future and disrupting the industry. Perfect. Anyone else, guys? Create the future. If we want to create the future and disrupt the industry, right, we always need to ensure that we are ahead of the curve. We cannot be at the end of the curve, because by then much of the value has already been created and taken over. In order to create the future, you need to be at the start of the curve. That is where the real value lies. Obviously there's going to be a lot of risks, but in the end you'll be able to make much more better outcomes than you would without it. And I've created this system over decades of experience and international best practices from two companies, and I've personally made 100k USD net in less than 2 years when I was working for this company, right? And after a decade of experience, I've discovered this the hard way, that why you need LinkedIn in today's day and age is that market is more complex than ever. Buyers have abundance of options. There is no concrete USP or differentiation among service providers. Lead generation is expensive. Sales process is not defined. LinkedIn is the largest professional social network. Unlike other social networks like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, where people are going over there for entertainment, people come on LinkedIn with the express intention of doing business networking. So that is the huge advantage of LinkedIn. And people want to do business on LinkedIn. That is the expression why they are there. And they take it far more seriously compared to other social platforms where people are just going for entertainment. So let me kind of stay on this slide for a while. So essentially the buyer stages in the market are like the buyer stages are broadly divided into these major four segments, right? What happens is every service provider wants to focus on the top 10% who want the solution immediately. But what happens is once the customer is at this stage, right, he'll have dozens of people bombarding them, dozens of service providers, dozens of products bombarding them, right? Which makes it extremely difficult to kind of crack that customer. And because of that, getting that customer is more a question of luck, or either you have luck or you become the cheapest provider to ensure that he buys from you at that point of time. However, 90% of the market, right, they are hidden buyers. They may not require a solution right away, but they might require it sometime in the future, right? So because everyone is focusing over here, this is a classic red ocean. And in a red ocean, what happens is the entire market bleeds. But this, below the red ocean, right? The part which is submerged in the water, that is the blue ocean. That is where the opportunity is. And if you cater to the customers at this stage, right, when they are not even immediately looking to buy, but you are in a position where you're connecting with them, you're building a relationship with them with the help of marketing automation, right? What happens is once they reach at the top stage, you would become the first preference, because you would have built enough goodwill with them, you would have built enough relationship with them to ensure that when they are ready to buy, you would be the first choice and they won't even be in the market. You would be the first one that they will reach out to ensure that that the requirement is fulfilled. So having that switch is extremely important to ensure that you're looking at a long-term strategy to grow your business. So how the buying psychology has evolved, right? Customers do not want to be sold to. In 2025, with the abundance of information, with Google in our hands, with ChatGPT and other AI solutions in our hands, right? Customers do not want to be sold to. They sell themselves. They do their own research. They prefer to buy from people rather than companies. And after doing their own research by comparing everything, then they've already pre-sold themselves. Then they will reach out to you just to negotiate on the basic level. But 90% of the job, the customer sells themselves regarding what you do. And that is exactly why marketing has become extremely important, because it is up to you how you position yourself during that early 90%. You need multiple touch points with the customer, right? The normal, one call close, two call close, it's gone. It's not going to happen. You need to touch point at least, 10, 15 times before the customer is going to buy from you, because they're going to be, researching the market to get the best value opportunity for themselves. And it's extremely relational, not transactional. In fact, it goes up to a certain level that if the customer's ideology, if it doesn't match with your ideology, right, they would not buy from you. The classic example is the US elections, right? You have these MAGA Republicans and you have these Democrats, right? And they are both completely opposite. And doesn't matter whether how good the product is or how bad the product is. If one company is from the other side of the camp, they would not do business with them. That's how important it has become, that people want to feel related to the company that they are buying from. It's not just about the product; it's about the values as well. Uh, you know, it's about the values, it's about the vision, it's about the purpose. So the ecosystem has become extremely complex, right? The lack of good quality advisors to guide you, lots of extra noise out there from unqualified people, free but often sometimes confusing and contradicting information, which kind of makes it extremely complex to kind of figure out what's right and what's not right. And ultra price sensitive clients. Marketing and technology has advanced like tremendously over the last 2 3 years, in particularly, especially with ChatGPT coming in, and the economic conditions are extremely tough. So in such a complex ecosystem, right? Traditionally, what we used to do is, we would depend on referrals, on word of mouth. We would depend on physical meetings. Uh, you know, Imagine the travel money which we would spend, coffee money we would spend, travel time we would spend. The opportunity cost was very high. We would be depending on others for lead generation, and this would all cost at least 2 to 3 lakhs rupees a year, or close to like $5 to $10,000 a year. Not to mention the opportunity cost and time, with minimal security of repeatable business in the long term, right? If you keep doing business that the way it's always been done, it's not gonna work. Um, Anyone know who this guy is? He's one of the leading businessmen of India. He runs a publicly listed company.
Harsh
Hmm?
Mariwala.
Sorry?
Harsh Mariwala.
Exactly, that's Harsh Mariwala. So he belongs to my community itself, right? So I met him a few years back in one of our community gatherings, right? So the number one lesson which he taught me was the importance of investing in your business. Most people don't kind of understand how important it is to invest within your business. They simply think that if they drag on and spend more time, they'll get the results. But it's not that. It's a lot more than that. You need to invest in the growth of your business to acquire leads. You need to invest in hiring the best employees, right? If you hire the best employees, they can generate 2x, 3x, 5x the ROI of what you're paying them. So hiring the best employees is extremely important when you're looking to grow your business. Invest in hiring the best marketing for your business is absolutely important. So around 30 years back, when Harsh Mariwala started Marico, and he was competing with giants like Hindustan Lever and these companies, right? They would go to the top IIMs to recruit. He would go to the top IIMs to recruit the best talent as well. They would hire the top agencies like Ogilvy, O&M, and other Group M companies. He would also go with to those agencies to hire the best marketing for his business, because he knew that if you want to compete with the best, you need to hire the best, and you need to make the right investment for your business to make it grow. You need to invest in good systems in your business. There's a very popular saying that you do not rise to the level of your talent or hard work, you fall to the level of your systems. That is the importance of investing in good systems within your business. uh, you need to ideally invest 20% of your revenue in new product innovation, 20% of your revenue in sales and marketing, and don't think transactional, think value creation. Think how much value you can create for your customers, right? This is kind of the importance of systems, right? Do you want to do like manual farming, or do you want to use advanced technology for farming, and farm for hundreds of acres? So for a business, there are multiple systems. You have lead generation systems, lead engagement systems, sales systems, service delivery systems, support systems, hiring systems, firing systems, and financial systems in place. The one-page GTM covers the lead gen systems, primarily focused on that, lead engagement systems and sales systems. LinkedIn is a part of the lead generation system of the one-page GTM which I've created, and it's extremely important for B2B companies. So let's get into deeper into the traits of successful entrepreneurs, right? Which I told you about. They realize that success doesn't come quick, easy, or cheap. They are willing to work hard, they are willing to invest, and do what's necessary to get the right business for themselves. They understand it's not a get rich quick scheme. They are willing to do whatever it takes. They start with value first. They are quick on their feet in terms of decision making. Every decision that they take, it's more about not looking at getting the cheapest thing, but getting the right value for the time and the other investments which they're going to be making. And they are constantly investing in upgrading themselves. That's how they think. You need to be willing to put in the MENT to upgrade yourself and succeed, right? Money, effort, and time. Otherwise, you'll become just like the KBC winner, the Kaun Badhiya Crorepati winner. You'll get the money and you'll end up losing it if you don't, upgrade yourself and succeed. Um, You need to be working as a peak mindset, focus on peak performance, and constantly upgrade yourself, right? Uh, the more you upgrade yourself, the better it is to, kind of become the higher levels of success, reach the higher levels of success, and even maintain it in the long run. You need to be constantly experimenting with new things and constantly optimizing them, because that's going to be absolutely vital in terms of long-term growth for your business. So these are some more traits, right? You need to think like a unicorn founder. You need to invest in growth, put in the reps, put in the hard work, 1% compounding improvement on a daily basis, hire star performers, return and retain them, exit from day-to-day operations, start making bigger plays. Surprisingly, 10x is easier than 2x. I cannot explain this right now. That's a different scope. And this is actually for more mature companies who are doing over $1 million of how they can actually grow 10x rather than 2x. And surprisingly, it's easier to grow 10x rather than growing 2x. So it's slightly for more mature companies, not necessarily for early stage companies. So do you have what it takes to become a successful entrepreneur? So I've shared you some of the traits, some of the things which are required to grow, right? What do you think? Do you have what it requires to become a successful entrepreneur? Can you let me know in the chat? Awesome, Joanna. Awesome, Apeksha. Other guys? Anup, yes. Only 3 people out of 19 have that. The other 16 don't have what it takes to become a successful entrepreneur. Yes. Yes. Got it. Gradually, I'm getting some yeses. That's good to see. So I'm going to show you how I acquired 15 clients in 2 months on LinkedIn now, right? The entire marketing funnel of how it kind of went about, right? The 3 secrets of LinkedIn essentially is creating a very compelling LinkedIn profile. This essentially acts like your website or your landing page to grow your business. How do you convert your LinkedIn profile into your most important landing page? Then the next step is creating the right content. How do you create anti-AI LinkedIn content to build authority and attract your ICP? The problem is people are using Chat GPT and they're blindly copy pasting it, right? But anyone and their dog can kind of figure out that it's AI generated content, and rather than building more rapport for you, it's actually going to backfire on you, because people can see it, people can detect AI, and once they see that, they'll lose the trust. So it's very important that you create anti-AI based LinkedIn content to build authority for yourself, that you are attracting your right ICP. And in the end, LinkedIn commenting, right? How do you siphon followers from large influencers towards your profile? So let's dive into secret number one. How do you craft your LinkedIn profile as a compelling landing page? So what typically traditionally people used to do for their businesses, they would create fancy landing pages. They would pay thousands of dollars to get a compelling landing page, right? But the profile pic of their LinkedIn would not be updated. The banner pic would not be updated. No professional details would be there. It would be essentially like a ghost profile, and they would hardly visit that, right? That's absolutely, a huge mistake considering the power of LinkedIn today, in terms of, helping B2B businesses generate leads. Why aren't we using LinkedIn to its full potential? Let me show you a better way, right? This is what my profile pic looks like. A good smiling picture with a professional look, right? Uh, and everyone has that. It's not that it's a rocket science and people don't have this. Everyone has this, but people just haven't kind of bothered to take the step, take the initial step to get this thing done. So updating your profile pic on LinkedIn is absolutely vital, right? Next is the banner pic on the top, the yellow pic with my book mentioned over there. You can see it, right? It has a very compelling color, and it kind of establishes my authority right from the get-go, that I'm an author, I'm a mentor, and I like to call myself a business yogi. I don't like to call myself a business coach, because I try to focus on the more holistic elements of growing a business, not just the conventional business coaching tactics. So you can see it, right? It instantly builds authority, as well as the color, it directly comes into your face. So anytime when someone opens my profile, right, that's the first thing that they're going to see. They'll see the banner pic, they'll see my cover, my profile pic, and they'll instantly get attracted to see, and try to figure out what more that they want, they can see in my profile. And that's what is required to immediately grab attention of your of your prospects. This is the headline, as you can see. very crisp, very targeted, very to the point of what I'm currently doing, what I've done in the past, and how we can help businesses with their growth, right? Very simple, very crisp. And the bio link. This bio link is available with LinkedIn Premium, and I recommend everyone to get LinkedIn Premium. It's not very expensive. I think it costs between 150 to $200, but it's absolutely worthwhile to get this for you, right? As I said, this is your classic landing page, and this will help you generate so many free leads that it's unimaginable. In fact, the moment when I got those 15 clients, right, I'd gotten like 400 odd leads, all came from this website link, all of them. That's how compelling it was in terms of getting me leads from a business. 400 leads, out of which 15 converted into clients. So let me kind of run you through the three pointers, right? You need to have a very compelling profile photo, a very compelling headline, as I just showed you. You need to have a very powerful header image, a good about summary. This is more slightly advanced, and more further along the lines of how you can improvise that further. Add your work experiences, add more experience links over there, add more featured links over there. Um, share details more about your education, because if you have people from your own school or college that you work with, right, you can connect with them much more easily. Licenses and certification, add those as well, because they are going to be extremely valuable, because that builds a lot of trust. And of course, education is already discussed about. So a lot of people have a lot of false beliefs about this, right? That LinkedIn is only for corporate professionals and for getting jobs, but absolutely not. LinkedIn is phenomenal for getting leads for businesses, right? Just like me, the way I got 15 clients, there are so many others who are doing millions exclusively on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is literally their only lead gen source. They are only focusing on LinkedIn, and they're making millions of dollars of on an annual basis. So it's not just for corporate professionals. It's not just for jobs. It is for every business who wants to reach out to a professional audience who's present on LinkedIn. So it's an extremely powerful channel. It's not just for job search. People are not active on LinkedIn. You'll be surprised to find that out of the entire LinkedIn user base, which is over a billion right now, 40% are active on LinkedIn at least once a month. So people are active on LinkedIn, and people do visit it for business requirements. Many people feel LinkedIn Premium is expensive. Honestly, $200 a year is not expensive at all, considering the tremendous value that you get out of LinkedIn Premium. So, this is something which everyone should kind of take and kind of take this forward, right? Just some numbers to kind of show of how important LinkedIn is, right? 96% of marketers prefer LinkedIn for lead generation compared to Facebook and Twitter. I'd like you to kind of, ponder over this thing. 96% of marketers prefer LinkedIn for lead generation. Imagine that. Even though Facebook is the largest social network, people prefer LinkedIn more for lead generation. These are some more numbers, right? In 2023, they had 900 million users. Now they've crossed over a billion, right? United States constitutes 20% of that, which is approximately 200 million users, and India is 100 million users. So if you're sitting in India or Europe or anywhere across the world, and if you want to target USA, right, how easy is that? You'll have 200 million captive audience, American audience, whom you can reach out to from LinkedIn. Uh, the majority of users on LinkedIn, about 60% are in the age of 25 to 34. So these are young, ambitious people, which are very tech savvy. And especially if you're in a tech business, it can't get more easier than this. And in the United States, about 21% of users who use any kind of social platform, they do use LinkedIn. So that kind of shows, the power of LinkedIn. These are some more numbers, right? How executives value LinkedIn on the value that they gain compared to other initiatives, right? LinkedIn is at the top compared to Twitter, Facebook. Google Plus is shut now, but LinkedIn is at the top right now. That is how powerful LinkedIn is. So if you're still thinking about whether LinkedIn makes sense or not, I hope that it's clear right now how important LinkedIn is to grow your business. Now let's look at secret number two, right? LinkedIn content. How do we create anti-AI LinkedIn content to build authority and attract your ICP? ICP refers to ideal customer profile, right? This is the exact customer profile who you think would make sense for your audience, right? Um, in my one page GTM, it's a part of the marketing foundations where I cover the ICP at length. In this, I would not be covering that. This is going to be focused more towards LinkedIn, but I wanted to kind of explain you what ICP is about, right? Of how you can identify the exact audience profile for your business who are going to buy from you. We have the entire step-by-step process of how you can do that. So when was the last time you posted on LinkedIn? Can you let me know in the chat? When was the last time any of you have posted on LinkedIn? 2 days back. Okay, that's pretty good. 1 week ago, 3 days back. Others? Have the others posted on LinkedIn at all? 2 months back, 1 month back, 3 months back. So that is a huge problem, guys. We need to post on LinkedIn on a daily basis. At least I recommend at least 5 days a week. I personally do 6 days a week. I don't do on Sundays, but I do 5 to 6 days a week. So, that's extremely important because that is the only way where you can show people of, how you can do, what you can do, and, what your capabilities are. So it's extremely important to do that on a consistent basis. Typically what we currently do is we mindlessly watch social media for entertaining reels, for entertaining content, maybe some politics, all that stuff, right? And we are scrolling reels endlessly on Instagram and YouTube. We don't have a content strategy in place. Because of that, we are not posting consistently. We have no lead gen strategy in place, right? How do we ensure that the content strategy directly relates in creating, generating leads for us, right? We don't have that in place. And worst of all is creating dumb AI content, simply copy pasting chat GPT with stupid prompts and kind of, copying pasting that. So that is a huge red flag if you want to, build your brand on LinkedIn and acquire leads from there. So, we are going to be showing you the new way, right? Essentially, you need to use all these platforms as business media rather than social media, right? Don't think of it as, entertainment, a source for entertainment. There are other sources of entertainment available. Think of LinkedIn, think of social media as business media, and you're there for strictly professional purposes, which is to generate leads for your business, right? You need to have a very targeted approach for social media and a very targeted content strategy for LinkedIn. Um, there are lots of other strategies which are already created for LinkedIn. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. People like me and there are others who are already done it successfully and you are using LinkedIn actively to kind of generate lead for themselves. You can simply use the kind of model which we are creating, add your own spin to it, and go about using it so that you start getting benefits out of that. Use AI with the right prompts to generate human-like content. Uh, if you use a very generic prompt, it's going to give you a very AI kind of content that people can see right through it, right? If you customize the prompt in the right way, you can generate more human-like content. But at the same time, I don't use AI myself, and you can still get it done in like 2 hours. Or I do it in 1 to 2 hours, but within 2 to 3 hours a week, you can still get your content done. How do you identify your ICP, right? That is the first step. Your entire content is going to be focused on an ICP to attract that ICP, right? So how do you do that? Firstly, you need to identify who your ICP is. Only if you identify your ICP, what that is, and what their pain points are, can you tailor your content according to the requirements, right? If you don't do this fundamental basic of understanding what the ICP is, you will never be able to target them and attract them and convert them into lead. So having this is the first step for your content strategy. Then we come to what are the content ideas like, what content frameworks to follow. We create that, right? A lot of times we simply post like a random content to maybe get some reach, maybe get some followers, which has nothing to do with our business. But that's the wrong way to kind of go about it, right? You need to have very specific content ideas and very specific content frameworks which have been established. Simply follow those and you'll see tremendous results coming for your business. Uh, Let me kind of dive deep into this philosophy, right? This is called the 5 stages of awareness by Eugene Schwartz, right? Your entire ICP market, right? They're probably in one of these 5 stages. They are either completely unaware, they are problem aware, they are solution aware, they are product aware, or they are most aware, right? Unaware and problem aware is what we call the top of the funnel. Solution aware and product aware is what we call the middle of the funnel. And most aware is what we call the bottom of the funnel, right? So essentially for every audience, right, you need to ensure that your content strategy caters to all 5 of these, right? The biggest mistake which most of us make is, we randomly post content with no thought process behind it. The content that I'm posting, right? Who is it attracting? Who is it focusing on? What the approach is going to be. HubSpot was a pioneer of this, right? They had content for all of these 5 stages, and they would have a very complex set of, marketing automations in place, depending on where you were, whether you are unaware or problem aware or product aware, solution aware, wherever you might be, they would have content, so that once you're at a particular stage, then that kind of content would come out to you, specifically targeting you through email as well, right? Not just social media, but through email as well. That is how elaborate marketing automation that they have created. But obviously, that's a billion-dollar company, and they have the resources to do that. But even if we focus just on social media and ensure that we are creating the right content for all of these five audience segments, we would still be significantly well off compared to having no strategy whatsoever. Then we design the actual post, right? For the actual post, the most important thing is the hook. Getting the hook at the top to attract your target audience, right? Getting that right is absolutely vital to ensure that people are kind of drawn in to read further. Because if the hook is not compelling, the rest of the body of the post is meaningless. So it is the name itself defines the hook, right? It's meant to hook the attention of your audience so that they go through the rest of the body and engage with the content that you've created, maybe like, maybe comment on that. But the hook is essentially the heart of the content. And in the bottom, it's about the posting schedule, right? So you need to ensure that you're posting consistently at the right time and figure out what time works for you for your industry, because it's not the same for everyone. You need to figure out which is the right one and stick to that on a consistent basis, because once you do that, then LinkedIn itself will start throwing your content to more people. This is one of the case studies, right? You can see Coca-Cola it's a B2C brand, it's a consumer brand, and yet they've taken so much effort to create a very powerful LinkedIn page. They honestly don't need to do it, right? It's one of the most biggest marketed companies in the world. They are present everywhere, and yet they have a very strong presence on a B2B platform like LinkedIn. That shows how important LinkedIn is, not just for B2B businesses, but even for B2C business as well. Same goes for Mashable. It's a content company. They are very strong on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and yet they have created their own LinkedIn page as well. That shows the power of LinkedIn again. Arjun Vaidya is a very close friend of mine. He's a VC. He was actually a founder of Dr. Vaidya, Dr. Vaidya's Ayurved, and he exited a few years back. And now he's the founder of a VC company called V3 Ventures, where they invest in consumer brands, right? And even though he primarily focuses on B2C brands and invests in them, he is very prolific on LinkedIn. He has over 100,000 followers over there, and you can see the kind of content that he's posting over there, right? Very targeted to consumer brands, so that he can attract them, and if he likes them, he would invest in them. So even a VC, this becomes a lead gen source for even a VC to generate leads from LinkedIn for investing in them. This is my personal content of the kind of growth which I've seen, right? 130,000 impressions, and actually it's past 365 days, but in reality it was just 6 months, because I was just actively posting for 6 months, and even over there I got this kind of impressions. More importantly, my audience was some of the larger founders, Series A, Series B founders, larger VCs, right? I wasn't catering to the masses. I was catering to the top startup founders out there. And among them, I got such a huge number of impressions. So it is significantly more valuable than getting impressions from a slightly younger age audience. Again, you can see the content performance and the amount of impressions that I've gotten. So that shows the importance of posting right content on a regular basis, right? Now we are in the step 3 part on the commenting strategy. This is one of the most important parts of the strategy as well, because this will help you siphon followers from large influencers, right? I'm going to explain you how this works. But up until now, any questions, anyone? Yep, LinkedIn Sales Navigator is extensively useful as well, especially for B2B businesses. If your target ICP is on LinkedIn, LinkedIn Sales Navigator can work phenomenally well. What do you think of putting in the value instead of what you are doing in the bio, or let's say both? Of course, we can do whichever that we want, depending on what the ICP will resonate with, right? In the end, there is no it'll all come down to your ICP and what they resonate with. You can try testing out with both, see which is resonating better with the audience, and then stick to that. because in some cases there is a very standard template of of how you're creating value. You can post that as well. In some cases, if you're trying to build an authority, for example, in my case, I'm trying to establish my authority, right? It's not just about putting in value because I'm already doing that separate. So for different use cases and for different ICPs, it's going to be different. So you need to figure out what's the right one for your ICP and take it accordingly. Happy to help, Juan. So let's move on ahead. How do we siphon followers from large influencers, right? So let's look at some of the problems. I'm posting content regularly, yet my followers are not growing. I'm sure many of you would have faced this scenario as well, right? That you're posting content, followers are not growing, so you kind of gave up on posting altogether. Has anyone faced this? Yes. Anyone else? Yes, exactly. So you'll keep posting content and yet your followers won't grow because essentially what LinkedIn, how it works is when you're posting content, right? It'll show you people who you already connected with or who you've already engaged with. But if you want to expand your audience, right, you need to figure out a way of how you can expand your audience so that they can start engaging with your content as well. If you don't do anything else, your viewership will remain constant. Your content will not reach new audiences. So, that's the biggest challenge. So I'll show you what not to do, right? This was a post which I had created a few years back when I was working for the crypto exchange, right? And you can look at some of the horrible comments which people did. Straight out promotion comments. Telling about themselves, what they do, what that stuff is, rather than trying to build any sort of relationship or any sort of proving cases. They are simply about getting into promo. In fact, some people outright gave out their numbers. They were literally sharing their numbers in the comments that
क्या
that
क्या चीज
can you go in mute please?
क्या चाहिए मेरा
Can you go in mute please? Got it. Let's go ahead. Sorry. How do you expand your audience, right? You find some of the largest influencers in your category. You engage with their content with the help of right comments. There is a very specific way to do comments, right? Obviously not the way that I just showed you. That is a terrible way. But there is the right way to engage with the content and try and get them to engage on your content. If any of these large influencers engages on your content, that is game over. That is like a true game changer, and you'll get hundreds of thousands of views in a single instant. That's how powerful it is. This is some of the examples, right? Aviral is a huge investor influencer in India, and you can see 3 people liked over here. Alok Kejriwal is another very famous influencer, and 4 people liked over here. Justin Welch is another influencer, and 3 people liked over here. So what happens is when you comment like this, right, and you do a very strategic comment, not like a random comment which is very big cringe, but very value adding content over there, people will start engaging with you, and that's how your viewership will increase. That's how your reach will increase. So that is how powerful this is of getting this right and doing the commenting properly. So I've been doing this consistently, and that's how I have like 11,000 plus followers over the last 2 years. This is some of the testimonials of Abhijit Kumar, right? He was the co-founder of our ventures that we used to work together, and we would help startups raise funds. And most of my VC connects which I've built, I've done that through LinkedIn only. Bhavin was my colleague in Paytm. Right now he's AVP, and even I would have been AVP if I would have stuck with Paytm right now, right? This is among another testimony which is given me. So LinkedIn branding will help you build authority. It will help you generate leads and will help you raise capital for your business as well, if done right. So this is another major testimonial for you. I'll play the video so you can have a look at this. Mindset shift का game है. थोड़ा mindset shift कर दिया, थोड़ा offering change कर दिया और उससे this is 10x.
Right. Absolutely. We completely change the way that I'm charging to the clients. I can even charge more. Like I can get any amount of money. Depends on my offerings and everything. So it's unlimited. Depends on client product selling and everything.
Exactly. And believe it or not, it's not even working that hard. इसमें आपको ज़्यादा काम करने की जरूरत नहीं है. जो आप existing काम कर रहे हो, same काम इसमें रहेगा.
हाँ.
But with the same work, with the help of the new leverage, you'll be able to generate way more results.
Right.
So I helped him completely change his business product and redefine his business product and how to go about lead generation and how much value that he would get out of changing the approach, right? And that's how he was completely changed the way his agency business took off. Neeraj is the head of WTC at Pune, and just with a casual outreach to him on LinkedIn, we met. We met at Trident in Mumbai, and we started working together just from a casual LinkedIn outreach. Ashwin is a major tech VC based out of Bangalore. I sent him a LinkedIn message, and we connected over there, and we exchanged a few deals together, and not just within India as well, right? Jillian is from Singapore. I connected with Jillian as well in Singapore, and we started taking over, and we did some collaboration as well. Mikhail is a German VC, and I reached out to him as well, and we had that initial introduction. After that, we've exchanged a few deals as well. So this is the power of LinkedIn, right? If you have a very solid brand and if you're posting valuable content, right, you can practically reach out to anyone out there and build connections with them and collaborate with them. Again, as I told, I made over 100K net in the last 2 years. I got my two major jobs from LinkedIn. I've acquired 14 clients on LinkedIn in 2 months. My B2B lead cost is like 140 rupees per lead, which is like less than $2. Ask any B2B professional, what the cost of lead is. It's going to be significantly higher. But in my case, my cost for lead is less than $2. Any business would, kill to get the lead cost at such a low number. And B2C leads are like less than 20 rupees per lead. That's how easy it is. I even found multiple channel partners for lead gen through LinkedIn. And now we do like a revenue sharing collaboration where they refer startups to me to help them grow. And, we do a revenue sharing deal. LinkedIn will work for all these businesses, whether you're B2B, B2C, tech SaaS startups, manufacturing companies, coaches, consultants, all of them. It will work for all of them together. So, if you don't like to do organic prospecting, right, you need to change that approach because organic prospecting, although it's not the scope of what we did today, because organic prospecting, it's like a huge segment by itself. Not something which you can cover in this in this masterclass today. But organic prospecting can become the only lead gen source you need until you reach like $1 million level. That's how powerful that is. So even if you don't like to do organic prospecting, you'll have to suck it up and do it, because again, if you want to become a unicorn founder, this is what it is, right? We do things which sometimes make us uncomfortable, and that's how we grow, right? So it's extremely important to do that. If you're unsure of what do you want to post on a daily basis, right, with the content strategy in the secret number 2, right, you'll never have a problem with that. And the way the content is structured is we will be creating those specific areas for you, those major topics for you to focus on, and just by creating minor twists here and there, that can create a completely new content which you can post. That's how easy it becomes going forward. What will others think of me? A lot of people have this limiting belief in their head, what will my other industry compatriots think about me? But in reality, if they think good, that's a great thing to do. But if they think bad, anyways, what they think should not make a difference, right? Because if they're thinking bad about you, no matter what you do, they'll always keep thinking bad about you. So why do we need, why do we care about what they think about us? It really doesn't make a difference. The only thing which should matter is it going to help us or not? Whether it's going to help us grow, whether it's going to help our business grow. That should be the only thing which matters. I don't want to spam. Again, this is not spam. Spam refers to something where you're doing something, something unethical, or trying to force something, anything of that sort, right? That is spam. If you're simply posting content properly, you're simply doing regular outreach properly, right? If you're doing that, that's not spam. That is just simple business outreach. Think about it. Before social media came in, 30 years back, how would people acquire new customers? They would call other businesses, right? They would call the businesses from the landline, from the mobile. I'm sure a lot of you people are probably not even that old, but 30 years back, that's what people used to do. They would go to events, pitch the solutions over there. They would cold call people, and that's how you would get new business. How else were you supposed to get new business? How would people know about what you're doing? There's nothing spam about this. Does this really work? 100% yes. It has worked for me. I easily know thousands of people who are making over $1 million on purely on LinkedIn alone. So this 100% works. Key pointers which you want to think about, right? This is beyond LinkedIn, right? You're essentially the average of 5 people you surround yourself with. So if you want to grow yourself, right, as a founder, as a business owner, you need to surround yourself with the right, positive thinking people. If you find people who are, very negative in their thought process, constantly kind of, try to keep holding you back, you need to get rid of them as quickly as possible and move towards those other 5 people who you look up to and try to get in within those circles, because that's how you'll upgrade yourself. If you do what everyone else does, right, you will get what everyone gets. Success by definition means that you become in the top 1%, 5%, 10%, right? If you want to become 1%, 5%, 10%, and if you do what the 80, 90% of the people do, how can you reach the top 5, 10%? If you want to reach there, you have to be willing to do things which others are not willing to do. Only then will you get ahead. Average inputs will generate average outcomes. You need to put super average inputs either in terms of effort or in terms of the value that you're creating. Like I said, 10x is easier than 2x. Whether your orientation is focused on growth or on profit, this is a very important thing as well, right? Are you willing to invest to grow quickly, or do you want to do very conservative investments and focus on making more profits for your business, right? You need to have that orientation very clear in your mind and figure out what makes sense for you. And again, if you keep doing what you have always done, you will keep getting the same results and you will never break through the current cycle that you're in. If you want to break through the cycle, you have to be willing to change things, else you'll be stuck in the same loop and you won't ever get out of it. Your mind is could be one of your biggest enemies. They'll actually hold you back, and because your mind essentially wants inertia. They want to continue moving in the same direction, continue the same thing, right? So many times you have to go against what a mind says and do something which your mind is unwilling to do, and habit, break that habit pattern to try something new and grow further. So let me show you how the growth versus profit matrix look like. Again, if you do all this covered, okay, this is already covered. Essentially, what I've learned over my decade of journey, right? Don't let our middle class beliefs and mindsets come in the way of our success. I've Most of us have grown up in middle class upbringings, very conservative. We focus on losing small rather than winning big. We need to shatter those beliefs if we want to really become successful. If we stay in that kind of mindset, we'll never be able to grow. Targets are very important. It keeps us accountable, it keeps us moving forward, and it gives us a destination, right? If you don't have a destination in mind, you will never have a direction in mind. So having that destination in mind is absolutely vital. No matter how senior you are, there's always scope for improvement, right? You need to be willing to listen to people who might be younger than you, but they would know something which you probably don't know. And that value add, you need to be, humble enough to accept that and willing to, improve yourself rather than, think that you're senior and, you don't want to learn from something new. You need a tough coach to push you to generate results. That's absolutely vital, because if you have a tough coach, he'll push you, he'll guide you, he'll ensure that you're making the right efforts, right? How many of us feel that when we were in the corporate jobs and we had a boss breathing down our neck, we actually used to perform better? I'm sure many of us would. I personally feel that way. That's true for myself as well, and I'm sure many of you would feel that way as well, right? So it's extremely important that you have an accountability coach who pushes you to generate the right results for your business and stop wasting time with unproductive tasks in your business, right? As a founder of a business, you should not be wasting time with operational tasks, basic executional tasks. Delegate them out. Your focus should only be on two things: making your product kick-ass, and the second thing is, speaking to as many new people as possible to grow your business. These are the only two things which you need to focus on. You cannot grow on LinkedIn without a strategy. If you don't have a solid strategy in place, right, it's going to be, it's just going to be like water over rock. You're putting so much water on the rock, but the rock won't budge, right? That's what the situation will be. Many of you told me, right? You posted a content on LinkedIn, but it was not growing because there was no strategy in place. Getting the right strategy in place is absolutely vital. Only then you will grow. Otherwise, you will not grow. It's important to optimize when you have limited resources, right? Focus on the few limited channels, and especially for B2B, LinkedIn and cold outreach. These are the most important strategies which you should focus on. You need to invest MET very strategically. which is money, effort, and time. And if you don't invest MET at all, your LinkedIn will never grow. If you don't experiment at all, your LinkedIn will never grow. The more you experiment, the more you figure out what works and what doesn't work, and that's how your business will grow. And if you don't grow personally as a founder, if you don't get that unicorn founder mindset, your LinkedIn will never grow, your business will never grow. So you need to constantly upgrade yourself, constantly experiment yourself, right? So let me kind of share some of the tools, right? Obviously, organic social media is what we're talking about here. LinkedIn Sales Navigator, as someone already asked, right? If you're a very B2B target audience, if you're in the B2B tech space, LinkedIn Sales Navigator is phenomenal. It can act like a full-fledged CRM by itself, and you can connect with people. You can create so many filters, and get so defined on your ICP that it becomes like a very sniper-like approach in terms of hitting your target. That's how powerful LinkedIn Sales Navigator can be. There are several SMS email database solutions available as well. We ourselves, we help businesses with databases as well. So if anyone requires, you can let us know. We have our own CRM marketing automation tool as well for long-term WhatsApp and email automations and SMS automations for international audiences. So that's there as well. Let me kind of show you another investment ROI calculator, right? There are 4 layers of how you invest your money, effort, and time. Financial markets are at the bare bottom, which compound maybe 5, 10, 15% annually, depending on the markets that you are. If for international markets, maybe it would be 5%. For an Indian market, it would be more like 10 to 15%. So that compounds on a 15% annual rate. If you're in a trading or a distribution business, your business would compound at a 30 to 50% annual compounding rate, but there'll be tremendous competition because there is no differentiation. So the compounding percentage might be high depending on investment, but again, eventually you'll reach a cap over there. But if you invest in branding and content, right, your compounding rate would easily be 100 to 200% in a year. If you do it right, easily it will be 100 to 200% per year. Plus, it will compound on itself. It will build on itself. It will grow on itself. So 1 year, if you have 2,000 followers, next year you'll have 3 to 4,000 followers. Next year you'll have 8,000 followers. Next year you'll have 15,000 followers. It'll just keep growing and growing and growing, and increase your reach, increase the number of leads that you generate, just multiply on itself. And if you are investing in acquiring knowledge and skills, that's practically infinite compounding. So the more you invest over there, the ROI is absolutely immense. Just look at the example of Warren Buffett, right? Even right now, he spends at least an hour or two a day to kind of read new things, kind of upgrade his skill, right? That's the ultimate ROI. So I would advise everyone to start investing in more knowledge, more skills, more branding and content, so that you get a lot of leverage in terms of growing your business, rather than just doing the same old obvious things of reaching out to people, handling the operations, which have very limited ROI in terms of what the multiple that you can get in compared to the time and effort invested. So let me also show you a decision-making framework, right? You need to be very proactive rather than reactive, right? Majority of people try to push taking decisions immediately, but it's extremely important to not think so defensively, but be proactive in taking the decisions, right? You need to prioritize leverage when you have limited resources. As I told you, in the previous slide, knowledge and brand, these two compound very well, and they have very high leverage opportunities. So it is very important to utilize that leverage when you have limited resources, rather than wasting it behind stupid operational tasks which have practically no leverage whatsoever. So it's very important to do that. You need to be very smart about picking the right choices, the right opportunities where you need to invest your time and money on. You should not be doing, again, not do other meaningless tasks, but focus on those compounding tasks, which will have multiple level benefit for you. To give you an example, my book was one of the example of that kind, right? My book, it has generated tremendous amount of authority for me, and it has the benefits of that is not. It may not be very short term, immediate benefit, because honestly, I won't make much money from the 50 rupees that I from the book that I sell from. On top of that, Amazon takes like 70% of the commission over there. So it's not like I'm going to make money from the book by itself, but the opportunities which that book generates for me, right? The leverage which I get, that is absolutely vital. And you need to, invest in those kind of opportunities which generate that leverage for you. If you do not invest money, energy, time, your business will never grow. If you don't invest in knowledge and skill growth, you won't grow. Getting that thing is absolutely vital, right? And again, this will work for all industries. These are some more success stories of the people that I've worked with. I used to use this for, raising funding for our ventures portfolio companies. So to summarize, the most important thing is you need to become a unicorn founder. Only if you become a unicorn founder can you expect your business to grow sustainably and, more importantly, retain that success to stay for the long term. You need to build a very robust LinkedIn strategy. You cannot reach a destination without mapping out your journey. And that's what a strategy is. You need to get your LinkedIn fundamentals right. Every LinkedIn profile needs it and not just large influencers. This is another testimonial I wanted to kind of share with you. Did you have, any takeaways from this? Anything which you thought was valuable during the session? Something, some feedback for me, if possible.
Yes, I think what you're sharing is amazing. Some of the thoughts that you put in around consultative selling, around the process of selling, really, really good. The percentages that you shared in the funnel, that were really nice. Right? Some amazing stuff that good one.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. So as you saw, right, that was an international business coach who've been selling for the last decade, and he sells $10,000, $20,000 packages for Indian and international companies. And he was telling that about the discussion that we had. That's how valuable some of the things are in terms of the results that we generated across the board. So again, let me recap. The 3 secrets of LinkedIn are the LinkedIn profile. How do you convert it into your most important landing page? LinkedIn content. How do you create anti-AI LinkedIn content to build authority and attract your ICP? How do you siphon followers from large influencers towards your profile? And how do you use the commenting strategy to grow your business, right? If you follow this LinkedIn strategy, you'll never have to worry about how do you build your brand and get more customers and clients and how to generate leads. As simple as that. So let me ask you a question now. Based on everything that I've shared with you right now, would you like me to help you grow your LinkedIn brand for your business? Nice. Let me know in the comments. Would you like me to help you grow your LinkedIn brand for your business? Yeah, Giovanna, that's what I'm going to be coming into going forward. Anyone else? Okay. So Himanshu, if that in that case, I would recommend that you not wait for your product to get ready. Rather, you build your LinkedIn brand right now and share your product growth journey on the LinkedIn along the way as well. And I can show you how you can do that, because that will not only help you ensure that you have some initial testers for your product when the product is ready, number one. Number two, you will have a following before your product is ready for the market as well. So it actually is a great time to start before your product is ready, because that way you can not only get some initial feedback on your product features and how you can kind of grow that, and LinkedIn can help you on how you can take that forward. Yeah, so since you're already on that, this will help you even further in terms of doing that properly. Anyone else, guys? If others are not interested, you can simply kind of leave the call right now, because if you're not interested in working together, then we can kind of cancel. Just focus on the people who are actually looking to work ahead. So I'll go ahead essentially how that will work, right? So since this is a special launch offer, which we're kind of discussing right now, right? As I said, it's going to work for all these professionals, and what the program would cover. Essentially, what it will cover is my entire LinkedIn personal branding system. You'll get lifetime access to the entire content. You'll get access to our community and chat as well. You'll have lifetime access to that as well. You'll get video recordings, lifetime access. So essentially the entire course, all the recordings, all the community and chat, you'll have lifetime access to that, right? And it's going to be like a 5-day intensive live program starting next week, where we'll be covering all those details. And you'll have a lot of bonuses as well. And this is a very unique kind of bonus, which you won't get elsewhere, right? One is the LinkedIn Engagement Boost community, where you'll get 1 year access, right? So everyone who joins this program, right, will all be a part of a LinkedIn Engagement Boost community, wherein the focus is that each and every person involved in the community will do a like and comment to each other's post, right? So a lot of you kind of complained that you are not getting the necessary reach which you wanted for your product, right? This will take care of that instantly, because if we are like five people, 10 people who are going to be kind of going together for this program, and all of us together like, comment on, engage on each other's post, that itself will kind of expand the reach that the content would get, and instantly you'll see a boost in terms of the results that you get, in terms of the results, in terms of the reach, in terms of the likes, in terms of the comment, and more people will start seeing the content. So you'll get 1 year access to that. More importantly, this price is locked for life, right? So you can renew this engagement boost community on a year-on-year basis, and this price is going to be locked in for life. Going forward, it's not going to be that cheap. It's going to be significantly higher, but right now you can lock that price for the launch offer. You'll get content templates and cheat sheets. So you can simply use the content templates which we share you. Use them as a benchmark of what exactly do you want, and then repurpose that for your own niche and create that. So that'll make it extremely easy as well. And as I mentioned, lifetime locked in this price for the engagement boost, right? So I was originally going to charge this at 9,999, but for Indian customers, I'm going to charge this at 1,999. I'll share you the link in the chat right away. So this is going to be the price for Indian customers, and for the international customers, it's going to be $27. Let me share that in the chat here. So this is for the Indian customers, what I've shared here. And let me share for the international one. So as I mentioned, it's just 2,000 rupees for the Indian customers, 1999, and $27 for international customers. I've made it extremely affordable, and this will practically guarantee increase in followers for you, right? In fact, I'm so confident that you will get the results is that and I'm even willing to give an ROI guarantee for such a small amount. And it's a never heard before 365 days guarantee, where if you execute the entire strategy perfectly, and you don't make at least 500 new followers in a year, right? I will personally work with you to ensure that you get the 500 followers. But in all honesty, if you follow each and every step which I show you, right, you are easily bound to make at least 1,000 to 2,000 followers minimum. I'm saying that on a conservative estimate, you'll minimum make that much. But even if you don't make like 500 followers, I'll work with you hands-on in the to ensure that you get those returns, so that there's practically nothing to lose and everything to gain out of the situation. And if you want me to personally create content for you, we can do it this amounts as well. For US dollars, we'll discuss that separately. If you're interested, you can let me know of how you want to, if you want to do that, and I'll reach out to you on a personal level. But I'm sure you worked with other social media agencies in the past, and you've noticed how expensive they are, right? But as I mentioned, I want to make it as affordable for everyone, make it as easy for everyone so that everyone can afford it very easily. So again, some testimonials which I've received across the duration. These are some of the impressions which I've got, some of the content, and how it has performed over the years. And you will be able to like get tens of thousands of new impressions every month, generate dozens of new leads every month, acquire 5 to 10 new clients every month, and build authority and reputation. That's going to be the power of everything that I've shared with you. Again, some testimonials over here. And if all it did was get you a predictable system to acquire leads, would it be worth it, right? If it can help you get at least 2 to 5 new B2B clients or 50 plus B2B customers in a month, would it be worth it? Build your organic status and brand on social media, would it be worth it? What if it could help you make an extra 2 to 5 lakhs per year? How much would this be worth, right? Just for 2,000 rupees, you're getting so much benefit. As I said, I'm willing to take this risk on my system and on you. The question is, are you willing to do that as well? The price is going to be 19.99 today. And let me know if you have any questions. Happy to address any questions that you might have about the program. Giovanna, do you have any questions? Others? Anup, Himanshu, Amartya. Sure, no worries. Giovanna, are you connected with me on WhatsApp for any future questions? Okay, perfect. You can, we can connect with on WhatsApp. I'm hoping to start this next week on Monday onwards. So the sooner that once you start acting on it, you can accordingly kind of take this forward. Yeah. Perfect. Amartya, Himanshu, any questions, guys? Ganesh, Gaurav, Sandeep? Not as of now. Okay. Got it. So the links I've already shared over here. If anyone, you can reach me on WhatsApp if you have any questions. And if there's nothing else, I'll close the call for now. Thanks, guys. Hope you had a fruitful session today. My pleasure, Jovan. Take care. Bye-bye, guys.